Oh, on this lovely Sunday. You alright, baby? Don't worry, it's not too hot out. You probably won't hear the doggins panting too hard today. So, a lot of people have probably now seen not one but two videos of my good friend Dan Dix of Press for Truth confronting this thing. I don't even know what to call it, because the absurdity of the situation is so over the top. I feel like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I don't think that Dan Dix gets this opportunity because it doesn't happen. So what am I talking about? The latest pre-op trans fad, an overweight man with male genitals, let's get that out of the way, who rides around on a rascal, is demanding in Canada that he be able to go. Remember this, and listen, I'm not trying to get into identity stuff, but this person still has male genitals. Let's get that first part out of the way, right? This person is suing to be able to get a Brazilian wax at any beautician facility. Now, I will say this to you. If a woman at a spa wants to give your undercarriage a bit of a how's your father and clean you up down there, that's fine. I don't care. However, most women at spas that women go to are comfortable giving a female's genitals a Brazilian wax. So let's get it out of the way. This is an absurd case to begin with. Now, as Dan Dix is trying to go to the hearing or the trial or whatever was going on there, I'm in contact with Lee Stewie of Press for Truth as well, and she's telling me that he's still either being detained or at the courthouse, etc., etc., etc. But the video, at least the partial part of the video, comes out where Dan is simply doing his job, being a journalist, asking questions, and he's pepper sprayed and then I think assaulted by the mother as well. And remember, this is a person on a rascal with a wig who's, in my opinion, a huge attention seeker and asking for something that is completely absurd. So let's continue to yesterday. And so yesterday, I'm talking to both Dan and Lee, and I send them an article, and this is where I really want to get involved with this. Because this person, no matter what it wants to identify as, is somebody who's trying to have a party, a pool party, with unsupervised 12-year-old girls, and is sexually inappropriately messaging 14-year-old girls. You know how that puts them in my book, doesn't it? I don't give a flying rat's ass what you want to identify as, what you want to be. You leave the kids alone. You leave the children alone. So, actually, an open secret tweeted out Dan, which is awesome. Great job. I'm a big fan of an open secret. It's not like we see eye to eye all the time, or I endorse everything they say, they endorse everything I say, but I was very happy to see them put out the second video of Dan pursuing the rascal riding pre-op transsexual that's demanding women at spas give him Brazilians. What's he confronting him about? Whoa, 12-year-old unsupervised pool parties. That's normal. We got a baseball game back here. Good old Americana. I normally I would walk around. I think we will walk around because the song will stop soon and hopefully I won't get a copyright strike. However, Dan's channel very recently, like I want to say within the last 2.5 months, got completely demonetized. Completely demonetized. So he can't even get partial ads or any of that stuff. I mean, every one of my videos gets demonetized, but then they go up for review, and there's a slight bit of money to be made there. Now, on top of that, I would assume since his entire channel is no longer allowed to be monetized, he cannot get the super chats. And although YouTube takes, 30% out of the super chats, I believe, they take 30%, it still helps. And it encourages, you still get 70% of that money, and it encourages YouTube to keep you on their platform. because people are actually paying to interact with you. So Dan Dix of Press for Truth, if you're not subscribed, I'd say go over there, give him a sub. He absolutely 100% deserves it. Remember, this isn't just somebody who, wants to be left alone and identify as whatever. This is a person that wants to force women to touch his genitals at some kind of a spa on a regular basis all across that country of Canada, and is inappropriately sexually messaging 14-year-old girls and wants pool parties with 12-year-olds. This is where we've slid. This is, man, I wish they... Why are we playing this music? This is killing me. I didn't know we were going to be playing dance music. I'm hoping to shut that right off. Let's get it out of here. Anyway, Sunday baseball day. Anyway, with that being said, like I said, he's done some great stuff in the past about the G8 in Toronto. He's done 9/11 Truth, where he basically went through and went to the citizens' trial on 9/11. Dan Dix is a pioneer in the independent media. And again, that doesn't mean that I agree with everything that Dan has to say. I think there's a lot out there that we disagree with. And I still want his voice out there. For instance, he's a lot more about the left and right paradigm than he used to be, but that's certainly his prerogative. But when he's on the ground and he's not just writing vlogs or, doing videos, which he does well, by the way, his documentaries and his video work are amazing, but he's getting on the ground and confronting a monster like that, that a boy, that's on par. And by the way, it got a lot of play, and as well it should have, around alternative media circuits and even mainstream media circuits. Well, hopefully this person can be completely discredited, because they deserve to be. By the way, we're walking through the skate park. I don't think I've ever actually done that, but it was abandoned, so why not? Oh, guys, if you haven't checked out my video from earlier today, I discussed all the red flags on Epstein's old jail records when supposedly he was on quote-unquote work release. And I've always been very, very suspect over whether or not he was actually checking in and out when he was supposed to. And now there's not only an internal investigation into that case, but there's also a criminal investigation into that case. We went over the ins and outs of that. We went over the fact that there's a state senator in Florida who is not only trying to have this investigation expanded upon, but is getting threats that she's doing so. So it's something, I believe her last name is Brooks, Jane Brooks maybe, but it's all covered in the video earlier. Earlier this week, we did an amazing interview with Derek Bros, where we went over all aspects of the quote-unquote Finders cult. You can find that there. We went over the latest revelations of the relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and the Clintons earlier this week as well. Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and of course Bill Clinton and his lies that he didn't know him till after his presidency, when we now have actual documentation from the Clinton library that the two knew each other during his presidency. Of course he did. Epstein was everywhere. People knew who Jeffrey Epstein was. They may not have known everything about him, as this guy has so many connections. Again, we've talked about the Trilateral Commission. We've talked about the intelligence connections. We've talked about the connections to Maxwell and the possible Mossad. It's all out there, and we've covered it at length. I've also received a threatening email about my interview with Johnny Vedmore on Nicole Junkerman and her connection to not only Epstein, but companies and the IDF. It wasn't much of a threat. Basically, they tried to claim that they had copyright over an image of Junkerman, and that I was going to have to take down my video, or I was going to face a lawsuit, etc., etc. It was in, I think it was in German, but I decoded it. I didn't even respond, because if they want to claim copyright on it, number one, it's fair use, and I'll challenge them on YouTube. But number two, they didn't provide any proof that they had actually taken that photo or had any rights to it. Not to mention, I used it in a composite in a completely different way. It's completely covered by fair use, as it's only part of the program. We're not focusing in or trying to monetize that woman's face. So just some really interesting stuff. Guys, we're going to continue with the videos today. I got the landlord coming over to try to fix some of those electrical issues I have. So maybe I won't be just cutting off with the power out. If you like this content, thumbs it up, share it with others. Remember, I got a GoFundMe going, but I will be back on the flip side. I want to thank you guys for everything, and I will see you later.